right, hello everyone. How is everyone doing? Welcome to our LLC webinar. My name's Alex. This is going to be our first episode in our Horizon Trust studio. So we are in our Horizon Trust studio for the first time. So welcome, Amber and Kelsey. So we're still working out a few of the technical difficulties. So welcome for the ride, you guys. We promise we did do a little bit of testing beforehand. So we're all in for an experience. It's going to be a great day. How you doing, Amber?
Doing good, doing good.
Nice. Thanks for being with us today.
Of course, thanks for having me.
For those of you that do not know Amber just recently joined the Horizon Trust team. She's part of our sales team, and she has been doing amazing since joining us recently. So welcome. We're happy to have you.
I'm excited to be here. I love Horizon and just getting to be on this side of corporate structuring. So it's been great.
Yeah, absolutely. And what did you used to do before? Why are you sitting with us today?
I did business coaching for a long time. So the opposite side, setting up LLCs, corporations, helping with just getting together the business. And then this is the second step. So once you have a business and start generating income, you need a retirement plan. So that's what we're doing now, is setting up that second piece to help clients to invest into their future.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. Well, we're happy to have you.
Thanks.
Hi, Kelsey.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good.
I'm sure those of you that have attended our Q&A webinars are familiar with Kelsey. She's been on there before helping answer your questions live on the air. So today we're going to do a little bit of that at the end also, but Kelsey also has a background with LLCs. So because this LLC webinar, like I figured these two girls were going to be our most powerful assets because we at Horizon Trust love powerful assets. So we're just going to give it a few more minutes for everyone to kind of hop on. Like there's still some people trickling in. So we're waiting for that to happen. And then as kind of we do that, ladies, we had a very eventful day today. It was very busy here at the office, folks. So apart from taking care of your request, we also are always working to improve our team and everything. So we did actually have a new hire start today with us. He's joined our concierge team. So he's very excited. We're going to be training him over the next couple weeks and months. To get him trained up to scale, but with new hires means reorganization in the office. So putting people in new desks, moving everyone around. So it was a great, fun day.
It was. Lots of moving parts, literally.
Let's see. So, while we get started, I'm looking at the chat here. Just everyone give us a quick shout out. Tell us where you're from. I'm sorry, Kelsey and Amber, I didn't have time to set up the chat for you guys, but I was like, we do have it here, so I can see it.
We're going in blind. Just you direct us.
Yeah, I'll let you guys
answer all the questions.
Absolutely, and that's all we really need, and that's what everyone's looking for. They're looking to get those answers to their LLC questions. So let's take a look and see here. All right. Looks like we're getting people in. Oh, damn, we got people from all over. But we have
any locals?
Any people from Hawaii?
We don't have a Hawaii just yet, but Claudia is checking in from Florida.
Oh,
so our Claudia, who you guys may all know, she's normally on these webinars with Greg. She is currently traveling for work, so she's out in Florida. So hi, Claudia. Welcome to the studio from Florida. Let's see, we got Virginia, Florida, Baja California, Mexico. Okay. I was like, I could do Mexico right now. We got Buffalo.
Better than all this rain.
I think they might be getting it also.
That's true.
It might be part of the same.
San Diego's getting hit really bad.
San Diego's getting hit, yeah. Yeah, we got Buffalo, South Carolina, Arizona, and there's your Hawaii.
Who was it?
We got Myrna.
Hi, Myrna.
Yeah, Miranda's saying hi, Kelsey from Hawaii. So and we got California and more California. So perfect. All right, folks. So 7 minutes in. So let's kind of get started. Ladies, we're obviously here to talk about LLCs. It's the burning question. We always talk about it here at Horizon Trust because it's a very effective avenue for self-directing. Self-directing already puts you in control of your retirement account. So why are LLCs just that next level of control?
Go ahead. So I would say putting the LLC in place really just gives you that real full control. Yeah, self-directing, all of our accounts are controlled by our clients. They're telling us what investments they want to make. But adding that LLC, in a sense, it almost blinds your custodian. You have instant access to your funds, so you can quickly make a decision. And you don't have to go through the direction of investment process. So you're not waiting, 3 business days and having to submit promissory notes and supporting documents for your investment. You're able to just, hey, I want to loan money to Jane Doe. Let me write a check. And of course, always protect yourself when you're making an investment. You still want to keep track of anything that you're doing, but it does make the process a lot faster. So you can make a quick decision and not have to wait on that processing time.
Yeah, you want to think of it as an extension of your account at Horizon. So ultimately, we're moving money that you've sent to Horizon Trust into a business checking account. That business checking account is owned by the Checkbook LLC we set up for you. From there, the member is going to be your retirement account and the manager will be yourself. And so from that perspective, your retirement account owns this 100% and you are managing it on behalf of the account.
I think that's great that you pointed that out. It's so important that these LLCs are an extension of your retirement account. You can't just take an old LLC, which a lot of clients are like, well, I already have an LLC. Can I use this? These do have to be set up in a very specialized way to reflect your retirement account. So really important that, that we're setting it up in the proper way to make sure it's linked and meeting IRS requirements.
Yeah, so I guess in that sense of the word, I have an existing LLC. So how could I maybe utilize that for self-directing if I do have my existing LLC?
We usually don't recommend utilizing an LLC that's already pre-established. And the reason for that is because it's already established, it's already owned by you personally, which is against IRS guidelines. So you want to, from inception, create this LLC so that its intent from the beginning was specifically for self-directing.
Correct. I think what you were maybe going to is if you wanted to use that, if you're a business owner, you can set up a 401k plan. And so if you already have an active business, you can create a solo 401k where we can also add checkbook control to that, which is what we're talking about today as far as adding an LLC that is an extension of your retirement account. But there's a specialized plan, the 401k plan, where you have to have an active business. So if you do have an active business and you want to talk about, okay, well, how can I, set up that 401k plan? Of course, schedule a call with our team. We can go over that process with you. But yes, if you have an active business, especially if you have no employees, you're paying yourself a salary, then you would be a perfect candidate to put that 401k plan in place. And then once that plan is in place, we can also add the checkbook control to it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So thank you, Andrew. Yes.
Understood. But that's a talking point at some point, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, no, both
that was
were
perfect.
both were great talking points. Both were going to be coming up regardless. So that was great. You guys hit 2 birds with 1 stone. But I guess another thing that we were kind of looking at, and it was something that we were kind of talking about earlier, is like, okay, so you have that existing LLC. So now you use that LLC to be your vehicle to open that solo 401k because you are, self-directing. And then you open your checkbook control and everything like that. On the other hand, you don't have an LLC, but you still want that checkbook control. So the difference there is you would maybe open a traditional account, a Roth account with a checkbook LLC, or how would that look? What is the difference between those two, between having a 401k or just a regular traditional account?
The biggest difference, like you said, so you have 3 common accounts that you can open: the 401k, the traditional IRA, or the Roth. All of our accounts are self-directed. So just figure that we're talking about self-directed accounts anytime we're using those terms. The difference is an IRA is just going to be an individual retirement account. So anyone can set that up. You don't have to be a business owner. With a 401k, you have to have an EIN number and a social security number. So you have to have a business to be able to qualify for that type of plan.
Nice. Yeah. So, and just so you guys are aware, we do have a giveaway at the end of this webinar. So the girls are in for a little treat. They've never been a part of this. I'm usually sitting on the back end, kind of doing the giveaways, working with Claudia and Greg. So just make sure you stick around to the end. We got that giveaway coming along, and be sure to give us a follow on social media. For those of you that are here, you maybe saw us through Instagram, Facebook, or through one of our email blasts. Those aren't always maybe the best way to look at it. So just be sure to give us a follow both on Horizon Trust and Greg Herlean. Greg's very active on his Instagram and his Facebook. So just go ahead and take a look there, and you guys will never be out of the loop on kind of what's going on and be in the know.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. There you go. And for those of you maybe watching on the YouTube live stream, hello. We tend to always kind of forget about you guys, and we're so sorry about that. We're normally very active with our Zoom chat. So if you do want to be part of that Zoom chat, again, just give us a follow on social media on either YouTube or I'm sorry, not YouTube, on Facebook or Instagram, either Greg Herlean or Horizon Trust or both. Because why not both, right?
Yeah.
And
Like
then
everywhere.
and then whenever we have a webinar, you'll see it, you'll see those notifications and be able to be a part of the conversation on Zoom with everyone else. Because we definitely don't want to miss your questions. But unfortunately, that is sometimes what happens and gets overlooked because we are typically conducting these through Zoom. So, all right, guys, I guess kind of back to the business here. So we talked a little bit about that LLC differences between your sponsoring company and your kind of checkbook control. I guess let's talk a couple about the benefits of that LLC. Like what advantages do I have in setting up that LLC versus, me just using you? Horizon Trust, we have no fees, right? We have no wire fee, we have no transactional fees, we have nothing like that. So why don't I just do all my transactions through you guys? Why do I need my LLC? Like what purpose does that kind of have if I have you guys who don't charge me any additional fees to do all of this extra steps?
I would say simplicity, you, especially if you're dealing with real property. A lot of our clients are wanting to buy a rental property, for example. And if you need to pay the plumber today, if we are holding that asset, then you'll have to submit a form and we'll get the funds out right away, but there's a process. So when you have the LLC and the plumber's there and needs to be paid right there in that moment, it's nice to have that capability to just boom, write the check and pay the plumber, because everything has to be contained within your retirement account. So again, you can't mix funds. You can't take out your personal checkbook and say, oh, I'm just going to pay the plumber today and reimburse my retirement account or whatever that looks like. You can't do that. It has to come from your retirement account. So that checkbook control makes a world of difference to have that, again, just instant access. That's what I always tell everyone, like having the ability to just write a check, or even like wholesaling, tax liens. A lot of times, you can speak on that. You have to have the instant access.
Yeah, especially with tax liens. It really just depends on the investment opportunity you're looking to do. We have a lot of clients who are invested in really passive investments like syndications, funds, REITs, private money lending, where we're really just sending out money for you one time and then we're consistently receiving paid out dividends. In some investments like that, it may be best to just do it directly from Horizon, because what's the point of having instant access if you only need to send out an investment one time?
Yeah.
Whereas with real estate, like Amber said, it's more about being able to pay the people that need to be paid out right away.
Yeah.
Not everyone is paid via an invoice. Some people need to get paid instantly, and so it really is simplicity and allowing for easier, seamless transactions.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm sold.
I know a girl.
Okay, you know a girl?
I know a girl.
So what can I talk about with this girl? What are my expectations? What is my process going to look like? Because I'm sold. How do I fund my LLC? I guess is what I'm asking. How do I set it up? Do I go find a dealer? What am I looking to pay? Like, kind of, what am I looking at?
So the process would be, first step, schedule a call with us so that we can just get on the phone, have a one-on-one to identify what you qualify for, what kind of plan is going to be best for your specific situation. I have these calls all day long. Every single one is different. So, we all have different things going on, and one plan for one person might not be the best plan for the next person. So that's the first step, is schedule a consultation. I'm sure Alex has a link where we can get you on the schedule. Once we identify what the best plan is going to be, then from there we will, again, it depends if you are just setting up a brand new contribution account or if we're rolling over funds. Typically, we're moving funds from a previous 401k or an old IRA, old Roth. We'll get those account funded here. Once it's funded, then we can go ahead and initiate the LLC setup. So that would be the final step, is Once everything is funded, we will assist with the direction of investment to then move the funds into your LLC. And then from there, you'll have the checkbook control in a nutshell.
Nice. Okay. And I'm asking a little bit of the questions that some of our clients aren't going to necessarily know, but I know, but I don't know, so that they can know.
Okay.
So, which actually, before I get to that question, I did have a message here from Dave Michael in the chat. He said, the bank you set me up changed the rules a few months ago, and now they give 25 wires a month for free.
Wow.
So
That's cool.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
we're
great.
unlimited. So you can do a wire a day, guys. That's 31 wires
Yeah.
on average. But all right, 25 wires. That's still good. Most people aren't going to use 25 wires.
Yeah.
No.
No, that's great. I
So-
love
Yeah.
that.
And keep in mind, I mean, I don't know how many people are still using checkbooks, but you get you get a free
I-
checkbook
I-
as well.
Yeah, for sure. Uh,
Back to
uh,
old school.
Yeah. So
That's good
okay.
to know, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
Thanks
fantastic.
for sharing that, David.
Yeah, I did not know that. Okay, so we're talking about the setup process here. So I'm setting up my LLC, right? So uh, um, if I'm working with a partner, make it my spouse or whatever, can they be on that LLC with me to be kind of split? Or I guess, yeah, let's start there. Let's start with that.
Okay. But you
This
want to jump in? I'm talking so much.
Yeah. This can be a touchy subject because
Yeah.
when it comes to investing with a multi-member LLC for a checkbook LLC, the rules are a little different. When you set one up, like I was saying earlier, when I had misspoken about the percentages and having the LLC set up at inception being owned by the retirement account. So when that's set up, when that's created, let's say Amber and I, well, let's say,
We can do it as business partners.
yeah, I guess we could.
If we both had a retirement account, we can set up a multi-member LLC. Gets complicated though.
It gets
It
complicated.
gets complicated. That's the thing with these checkbook LLCs. If you are trying to go in on a multi-member LLC because of the contributions.
Exactly. So let's say a husband and wife, Jane and John Doe, they want to go in on an LLC together. They want to put both of their retirement accounts that are at different values into this account. So if they were to do that, let's say Jane had 50,000 or 60,000 and John had 40,000 with a total of 100,000. That would mean that Jane owns 60% of the LLC while John owns 40%. So moving forward, anytime they plan on adding funds to this LLC in the future, and I don't mean profits or interest, I mean adding money,
Contributions.
again, contributions or added funds. It has to stay at that same 60-40 split moving forward for the entirety of that LLC. And the reason is because at the end of it, when you decide to dissolve this LLC, the IRS is going to say, okay, so once this is done and distributed, who owns what portion? And it has to be able, you have to be able to see it as black and white and just have that split.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, so that's a very good point. So we definitely want to make sure that you guys are taken care of in that regard, because that split is crucial to kind of keeping everything in order. So in those recommendations, it's better for Jane and John Doe to each have their own LLC, because then it's just easier. They if they need additional funding, they can still do additional funding, but it's not so black and white. There's not those solid lines that the IRS is
When
setting
you do it
based on
wrong.
the individual LLC. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you might look at it now as like, okay, two additional expenses, but in the long run, it'll definitely be more beneficial for you.
I agree.
Absolutely. No, for sure. Let's see. Making sure I'm looking at the chat, not missing anything. It looks like we're okay right now. So let's see. One of the questions that we kind of talked about earlier when we were kind of just game planning and everything, foreign filing. That's something that apparently you guys get dealt a lot when you're having these LLC questions, or sometimes even after the fact, because someone maybe doesn't know that question at the beginning. So then they're asking you that on the tail end once they realize, oh, I need to do this, or I don't need to do this. So kind of, can you guys elaborate on what that foreign filing is?
Foreign filing is, well, basically if you, whenever you set up an LLC, and a lot of times we will set them up in the state of Wyoming because the corporate laws in Wyoming are just really strong. There's more asset protection, there's more privacy. So It's just a better state. The state fees are really low to get everything, like to keep the renewal, to keep it active in that state. So Wyoming is great overall. But with that, if you're buying a property, let's say that, you know, you set up a Wyoming company, you live in Texas, and you're buying property in Florida, for example. When you go to buy that property in Florida, a lot of times they will require, I would say you should ultimately foreign file your company to do business in Florida. And what's that doing is just giving Florida, taking the Wyoming company and giving Florida the authorization to accept that business, letting it really, oh my gosh, I'm at a loss for words, have the authority and the protection to do business in that state. So just in case, in the event of a lawsuit, you never want to not be foreign filed, because what they could come back and say is, well, yeah, we see that you have this Wyoming company, but you're not registered in Florida. So therefore, you know, you're not protected with that Wyoming corporate veil that you set up, which was the whole point of setting it up in that state. We can also, I mean, some clients like, well, I just want to form my company in the state that I'm doing business in. We can do that too. It really just, it's up to the clients. Again, I did corporate structuring for a long time. I will always stand by Wyoming. It is the best state to incorporate in, but you do have to be aware of that foreign filing, and there's additional costs to that to register in each state. On average, you're looking at maybe $100, $150. It's not astronomical. There are some states that are a little higher, Texas, California. Those are two states that, you know, always give pushback. Yeah, you can't bypass everyone. I know there's a lot of California people on here today. You can't get away from the franchise fee. I'm sorry. There's nothing you can do. Move out of California. That's the only way to get rid of it. You are stuck with that fee. Everybody, if I had even a penny for everyone that I talked to in California, that was like, so what if I do this? No. Eventually, the state of California, they are on top of it. They will catch up with you. So you just want to make sure that, again, you're just following those rules. Foreign file, protect yourself. It's a few hundred extra bucks.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that's definitely, it came up earlier while we were kind of talking about this and preparing for today. So that's definitely something that I personally didn't know. So I wanted to make sure that we covered that, because that's very good information.
And you really only have to foreign file if you're buying real property. So if you're using your retirement account for other things like private money lending, or even like a quick wholesale deal where you're kind of middlemaning things or whatever it is, it's when you're buying actual real property, or maybe you're doing a rehab on a property. Like when there is real property involved in it, that's where it's really important, like where you need to foreign file.
Yeah, absolutely. You did mention California. If you are in California, do not move to Las Vegas. We're we're a little crowded. The freeways are being worked on.
There's no water here, people. Don't move here.
There's no water here.
Oh my goodness.
And if you do move, definitely not this weekend. We have the Super Bowl in town, which I know Claudia's about to smack me across the head from Florida for bringing up football during a webinar, because that's normally Greg's thing. But, you know, I had to throw that in there, that it is the Super Bowl this weekend, and it is here in Las
It
Vegas.
is going to be insane. I heard like the private jet parking in the airport
capacity.
is at capacity. Isn't
Yeah.
that crazy? Like,
Yeah. So some people, and I'm sorry, but I do not feel bad for you, have to fly their private jet into Vegas, get off the plane, and then their plane has to leave to like Arizona or LA to park.
how sad.
That's a real thing. And again,
Struggles.
I am so sorry. I hope I have that problem one day.
I mean, I have that
Seriously.
struggle between Terminal 1 and Terminal 3.
We can't even park our cars. Of course we can't park our planes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, so every airport in Las Vegas is booked, which
Yes.
for your average traveler, there's really only one airport that you fly into, but there's technically 3 airports in Las Vegas, and all 3 are full. They're
Really?
at capacity.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I figured
So-
just well, I was gonna say McCarran because I'm a local, like a local born here, but I guess what Harry Reid now.
Yeah, it's Harry Reid now for sure. We had a question in the chat, and I did kind of want to ask that. So Diego is asking, hello everyone, is there a limited amount of retirement accounts an individual can have? For example, can I create different LLCs with different partners and have different retirement accounts?
No, there's no limitation.
Yeah.
The only limitation is when it comes to making contributions to these different types of accounts. So if you wanted to have 6 different Roth IRAs, you could have 6 different Roth IRAs, but realistically, it's probably not the most financial or savvy way of doing it. But yes, there's no limitation. The only limitation is the contribution limits that you make to these accounts.
And if you have multiple businesses that you're paying yourself from, that you're paying yourself a salary from, because again, contributions on a 401k, which we didn't really dig into, but contributions are based off of your salary. You can have multiple successful businesses and have a 401k plan under each one and contribute to each one as well. So
Yeah, absolutely. And so I guess I'll take his question and kind of spin it a different way. So he said multiple retirement accounts, and we said, yes, you can, but there are still your contribution limitations. So not necessarily needed, but he could then take his one Roth IRA and make an LLC per partnership, right? Because then it's still the one Roth IRA. Everything's still separated by the LLC. It would be the same thing as having a, you guys are going to correct me the second I say this, but what is it? An umbrella company or something?
okay.
Like, right? It's something that the company that sits at the top and then that owns all the.
I see what you're trying to say with that. Yeah.
Right.
Like
So
a lot of companies will structure it that way, where you have your holding company, so to speak, and then you have multiple companies underneath it.
So that would be
so I guess the
possible.
holding company in this sense would be your Horizon Trust retirement account, and then underneath it you could have multiple LLCs. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, exactly. So
I don't see a problem with that.
he responded, he said, thank you. And then he also said, what would be the top contribution per year per business? So we had contributions recently went up for this year. So I don't.
2,300 per.
Yeah, it's a total of, I think, an aggregate of 69,000 for 2024. And then the breakdown is 23,000 for employee contributions, and the remainder is made up with 25% of the salary from that business.
Okay. Yeah, so there's different variations. We do have all of that information available on our website at horizontrust.com. So you can always reach out there. And then we also have that in like just by reaching out to our concierge team, contacting us. That's definitely something they can do. So he said, thank you again, by the way.
You're welcome.
Let's see. Drew is asking, can I have a trust with several series LLCs under it that only generates one set of income taxes?
Say that one more time.
Can I have a trust with several series LLCs under it that can only generate one set of income taxes?
I'm going to say no. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say no because one, we would be setting up the LLC for you. It is an LLC that is set up with a specialized operating agreement to reflect that retirement account. And we don't set up series LLCs. A series LLC is basically, I'm not a big fan of them just because that was my prior background. So it's a very domino effect. It's like setting up just companies, kind of similar to how you were talking about it earlier. Not all states even recognize a series LLC. But I'm going to go with the fact that no, I don't think that we would be able to facilitate that just with the way that it's written. And it doesn't require, I mean, these are all disregarded entities. So even on the tax question, you're not filing a tax return because this is a retirement account. So it's not like an active business where you're having to file an 1120S or a 1065 or those special tax forms. It's just a pass-through entity. There's no tax return required on it. So I don't know if that helps.
You just started speaking a foreign language. So there's a reason why they're here to answer your questions about LLCs because I don't fully know it.
It's a different type of LLC for sure. So
it kind of sounded too like he was talking about it in the sense of using it as like for 401k for contributions versus like the checkbook LLC. Kind of like
set up an LLC,
set up series LLCs with a trust owning them, and then pays out through the trust is kind of what it sounded like he was asking.
Yeah, we may have to jump on a call for that one and just dig into that a little deeper.
All right, Drew.
My initial response is no, though.
Yeah, Drew. So a link was just dropped in the chat for you to be able to book a call from this webinar. So go ahead and use that link. And for everyone else, for anyone else that is finding this information helpful and you want to learn more, go ahead and use that link that just got dropped into the chat. So that way you can book a call with one of these lovely ladies or anyone else that's on our team to be able to kind of go over this information. So we'll definitely be able to answer your specific questions, because that's one thing that we've always said. It's every person's situation is different.
So different.
So
Yeah.
yes, these webinars are very helpful, very informative, but we also know that your situation is going to be different from my situation, from your situation. So we have to make sure that we're addressing your individual situation each time. So I guess I kind of want to circle back. There was a couple things that got brought up a little while ago, and we've talked about the operating agreement. We've kind of grazed over it, but in the beginning, we do work with a company who sets up the operating agreement in a specific manner for retirement accounts. So it has specific verbiage for the retirement account. It's set up with specific percentages, whether it's split or even just independently. So if my account has $100,000, then my operating agreement is going to state that I have 100,000 shares, correct?
Yes.
So that's how everything kind of gets set up. But then I want to add additional funding. Does that change my share percentage?
I mean, technically, you do want to keep updating the operating agreement each time an additional contribution is made to the account, so it has the most up-to-date value. I don't think most people do that, but it is something that should be kept up with.
Okay. So that's not something that I necessarily knew. So that's very kind of informative. And then in our team, we're normally just providing additional funding to this LLC. So does that mean there needs to be a correction to the operating agreement, or just the direction of investment will suffice?
Yeah, we'll require it. We won't require that. I'm sorry. Because at the end of the day, we send out fair market valuation forms at the end of each year for us to have a better idea of what your current value is in your account. So we don't really need it on our end for your records, but it's more for you to keep for your personal records.
Yeah.
And it's simple to update those operating agreements. When the LLC company creates them, you'll have a Word copy. You can easily update it and just, again, put it in your record book. You'll get a nice record book with all your documents in it. Just keep the updated forms in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you brought up valuations, which right now is valuation season. I know our compliance team is probably going to be very happy that I'm mentioning this right now, and we'll probably take a clip of this and throw it on social media for the next 4 weeks. But right now is the time to do your fair market valuation. So any assets that you hold in a self-directed retirement account, right now is the time you want to be doing that evaluation, whether it's real estate, whether it's an LLC, whatever the case may be. Right now is the time that you want to be doing it. And the best method for that is actually going to be, because like for an LLC, for example, since that's what we're talking about today, is that your LLC, yes, I invested, we'll take my example of $100,000 into my LLC, but now I've taken that money and done various things. I own 2 properties, I've raised capital for this, I've done all these little things. So my LLC is no longer at 100,000. My LLC is now at 400,000. So you as a client are responsible to provide that documentation of what values you have. So what assets, what cash, anything that you have that's sitting in your retirement account, it is your responsibility to fill out one of our fair market valuation forms and then provide us that documentation showing us that your total asset value is 400,000 or whatever the case may be. If your value went down, we also need to see that, because that just keeps your self-directed account clean. It keeps the reporting accurate. It keeps everything just nice and neat and organized. So that way, when the IRS sees it, everything is correct.
And no one wants to make the IRS mad.
No one wants to make the IRS mad. There's true words never spoken.
Follow the rules, guys. Just follow the rules.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And then we'll kind of, I guess, we go back to that LLC. So you've now made these investments and you're now at $400,000. and then you want to return some of that money back to Horizon, so that way you can invest in maybe something else. Which with your LLC, because it's so versatile, you can do pretty much everything directly through the LLC that you could do through us, correct?
You can. I would also like to say, I'm glad that you brought up that point, because I think where it's really important is once you become 59 and a half and you want to start taking distributions from your retirement plan.
Yes.
A lot of clients think, oh, well, I have all my money in my retirement LLC, and they just write themselves a check. I'm going to take this distribution.
No.
And we
Don't
see
do
that
it.
as a common
Don't do
mistake
that.
so much. And you cannot do that, because Horizon Trust is actually holding your retirement plan. It's so important that those funds move from your LLC back to your actual retirement plan, and then from there distributed to you. So just want to touch on that, because I see that mistake so often, and then it's just, it's not fun to fix.
And
So
that's such a good point,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you have that checkbook control.
Yeah.
So it's
You
so
just-
easy to
just
be
write yourself a
"Oh,
check."
time to go to the ATM.
Get a debit card too.
Yeah, you get a debit card, you get a checkbook, so
Yeah.
you literally write yourself a check.
And same thing with adding funds. If you're wanting to make a contribution, you cannot contribute directly to your LLC. Everything has to be ran through your retirement plan. I always try and explain it as, the LLC is just an asset of the retirement plan. The retirement plan is still the actual plan itself. That's where, everything's getting reported to the IRS. So that LLC, although you have so much control within it, it's still important that everything is going into your actual plan. It's like a stock of your retirement plan. That's all it is. A stock that you have a lot of money in and you're able to control and invest in all kinds of different things, not necessarily a stock, but it's just an asset of the retirement account. And so I think that that's a good way to try to think about it. You can't put money into it personally. You can't take money out personally. It's all for the benefit of the retirement account. So anything that's going out must come back in. And if you need money from it personally, put those funds back into your retirement plan and then take a distribution.
Yes, absolutely. So we unfortunately don't have everything, because we're still working out the kinks from our new studio. If we were just on Zoom, normally, like, I would be able to throw up a graphic right now and you could be seeing this graphic where we have this flow. So unfortunately, I don't have that flow for you today right now, but if you watch the replay, so it's currently 3:40 here in Las Vegas, so about 40 minutes into the video, and I'll probably see if I can mark it on the YouTube video for you guys. Let's see how
Put in there.
Yeah, I'll pop the
Do
image
some
in there.
magic IT work
Oh
over
yeah,
there.
you know I will. You know I will. But I'll throw the flow in there, and you just want to follow that flow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So money in, money out, always has to go in the same direction. Your investments are the exception, but for you, regarding yourself personally, money always needs to go through Horizon, one way or another.
Yeah. You want to think of it, if you're visualizing something, visualize a line. You're the beginning of that line, then Horizon Trust, then your Checkbook LLC, and then your investments. It never goes, you can never skip one step.
Yeah.
If it's coming from you personally, it's because you're making a contribution to Horizon Trust. From Horizon Trust, we're sending it to that Checkbook LLC. From your Checkbook LLC, that's going out for an investment. So anytime it goes out from an investment, yeah, all of your profits will come directly back to that LLC. And if you want to take distributions, like Amber said, it's going to go back out this way. That's how you want to visualize it. You can't cut corners, go around.
Yes.
You can't link the two ends. It's not a circle. This is through and through. You can
I
only
love
go.
that. I think I'm gonna use this with my clients.
Yeah,
That was
it's
a great
easy way to
explanation.
describe it.
Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's
I like the
absolutely-
line.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what the diagram looks like. It's a
Oh, okay.
it's a
Is
line.
it?
Yeah. Because that's exactly
I don't even need it.
we don't even need it. Yeah, and that's because that's exactly what it is. It's a
Yeah.
line. It has to move, and it's a two-way street, but that's what it is. It's a
Yes.
two-way street. You're not circling around or
Right.
anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
perfect.
like it is not a circle.
Yes, it is not a circle.
We don't
I love
do
that.
a lot of roundabouts in the US. So, straight lines. Anyways, a question did pop up, which actually this is a very good question, and we kind of often hear it. So how should a promissory note be titled for lending purposes when it comes from the Checkbook LLC? Does it go in the name of the LLC, or does it have to be Horizon Trust, FBO, Alex Padilla, Roth IRA?
That's a great question. I mean, that's really one of the biggest benefits of having the LLC. Yes, you don't have to have that long titling of Horizon Trust, FBO, Amber Newbig, IRA. It's just going to be ABC Capital LLC loaning money to Jane Doe, and Jane Doe pays back ABC Capital.
Yeah, that's
and it gives more privacy. You know,
Yeah.
you're not having to put your
Retirement account.
your
What type
reti-
of retirement account
Yes,
it is, who it's held
exactly.
with.
Yeah. So it does give more privacy. And again, LLCs are just more simple, the simplicity of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we had that question, and then Dave asked about it, and he's like, Julia, I might have been doing it wrong. He's like, mines are going to the name of the LLC and not HTC FBO. And I was like, no, Dave, you are doing it correct.
You're doing
You're
it
doing it
right.
right.
Good job.
Yes.
Good job.
It is in the name of the LLC. The HTC FBO is the titling that is going to be on your operating agreement.
Cool.
And
Yes.
yes.
That's a good point. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be on the operating agreement too. Again, like she said, it's the member of the LLC. The only time you have to have that titling is if you didn't have the LLC. Then everything has to be titled in the name of your retirement plan because you don't have that extra piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Reporting, let's see. Julia circled around with another question. Same here. The reporting kind of threw me off for a loop since I haven't gotten all my funds back yet. So Julia, that's fine. If your funds haven't been returned yet, then that's not a problem at all. You're just going to report that you have funds in an investment. Whatever you invested into, that would be your reporting. Because your LLC is still making the investment. You would just provide whatever documentation that you had at the time of that investment being made and show that that's what you did. So if you lent money, you did a promissory note for 50,000, then your books are going to show that you have an outstanding promissory note for 50,000.
Yeah.
So that's going to be your investment. So if we sent out 100,000 and you have 50,000 on this note, 50,000 on another note, and maybe you've already earned like 20K in like interest from other notes or whatever. So your value is now 120,000, and you're going to show us that you have 20,000 in cash and two $50,000 notes. So that way we can update your account to be reported correctly. So that's what that is. You don't necessarily need to have the money back from any given investment at any given moment. It's just, it needs to be kind of reported accurately, even if your investments are still active.
I like that you pointed that out because I get that question a lot or that confusion a lot where clients are like, oh, well, I'm like, oh, your account's worth 50,000. And they're like, but I don't have $50,000. Well, no, but you have an asset of this account that is worth 50,000. So if you have a promissory note that is worth 50,000, again, think of it as a stock. Stock is worth 50,000. Even though technically that liquid cash was lent out, it's still worth 50,000. We're expecting to get 50,000 back plus interest for that. So the account is worth 50,000 for any reporting purposes. I get that a lot, like
yeah, absolutely.
the confusion of like,
and a lot of people get confused. The FMVs are definitely something that comes up very often. It's this time of year that we always get those questions. We're like, well, you're saying that my LLC has this value of 50,000, but I don't have 50,000.
Oh, yeah.
My value is zero.
Yeah.
No, your value's
no
not
money.
zero. Your value's at an investment.
Exactly.
Now, if you're
no, you technically have the money.
now, if the investment didn't work out and the investment went to zero,
That's another great thing to bring up.
You do in fact have zero.
Yes, that is a good
then
point. What
unfortunately,
happens?
there is $0 in that LLC.
Yeah.
But in order to clear that value, we still need to see that your investment did not do well, so that our assets team and our compliance team can review the documentation and get that removed, because we're still going to be reporting to the IRS that you have an LLC for $50,000.
Yeah.
So maintenance is huge with the LLC. You do have that control. You are able to kind of update and kind of everything that we've talked about today, but it's just that maintenance, right?
And if anyone has questions when you're setting up an LLC, don't feel like just because you added checkbook control, like we're not going to talk to you anymore. If you have questions, you can call our concierge team. They're all super knowledgeable. They can answer those general questions. They're all self-directed accounts, so of course we can never like vet deals out or anything like that, but we can answer general questions that you may have when it comes to these forms. So I just want people to know that you're not just like on your own. I tell all my clients all the time, call me if you have questions. Like that's what I'm here for. So, we just want to make sure that we're available. And I think that also really sets us aside from a lot of other custodians, is just how involved and available our team is to everyone. Like, I love that. Again, obviously I'm newer here, but I love that about this company, like how everyone genuinely cares, and it makes a difference. It makes client experience better.
Yeah. Yeah, we care about the work we do. It's a very interesting space. Not
It is.
many people know about it.
Yeah.
You guys, I'll shoot myself in the foot here for a quick second. It's before joining here, I had a retirement account. There's all the savvy ones that you can do through an app and everything. You guys probably know it, Acorns.
Mhm.
So you can link your bank account, and
Yeah.
any residual change,
Goes in
it
there.
rounds up to the
Mhm.
nearest dollar, and then that change goes into your account.
Yeah.
Well, prior to working at Horizon Trust, I opened a traditional IRA and was funding it with post-tax dollars. So yeah, so I had to pay taxes on that twice when I
Twice.
closed that account and had to move it over to Horizon. It was very frustrating.
And like you
Okay.
said, people just don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure as you know, like,
Yeah.
every time we get on the phone, I'm like, I'm like, so how much do you know about self-directing? Nothing. Let's start from the basics. I'm like, all right, let's go. Because it's not talked about. Traditionally we're taught, you go to work. If you're lucky, your company gives you a 401k plan. If you're extra lucky, they match whatever you're contributing.
Mhm.
And that's just kind of what we rely on. Maybe you hope to stay with that job for 10 or 30 years and have a decent retirement account when you're, 59 and a half to start retiring on. But this is just such a great vehicle for people to take control and really just see huge growth that you're not going to see with typical stocks,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Let's take a look here. I want to run through the questions because we are kind of running on a time here.
Oh.
So yeah, we're still good here for a moment. Let's see. For the LLC to invest into crypto, would the account at a crypto exchange need to be an institutional or business account?
I would believe it needs to be considered a business account
That's what I
because you're
was gonna
using an
say.
LLC,
Mhm.
which would in turn be a business.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
business.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. Ooh, here's a little complicated one for Alice, and yeah, I'm just gonna let you guys deal with it. So
All right, Alice.
Alice is asking, so if I have four companies with four different LLCs, with four different LLCs, can I contribute the max annual contribution to each account? Correct?
No.
No.
We were saying earlier that it's an aggregate. So when it comes to the contribution, you can have four different businesses, four different 401ks attached to it, but it's always going to be an aggregate of the limit of that year. So for 2024, it'll be 69,000. I mean, you have to be paying yourself a pretty decent salary to even max out on it.
Mhm.
I haven't done the calculations for 2024, but for 2023, to max out on your contributions of 66,000, you had to at least been paying yourself. And this is if you were under 50. You had to be at least paying yourself 170,
I think it was
174,000.
174, yeah.
Yeah, a
So I
salary
think
from
in
your
that
business.
scenario, what you could do if you have four businesses, you could, because 25% of the salary. So if you're taking a salary from all four businesses,
Mhm.
you're still, like you said, it's going to take a lot to be able to max contribute everything. So 25% of each salary from each business you can contribute. So that extra contribution is going to come from each business that you own and contributing 25% to each plan. So
Mhm.
you'd
To be
still
able to
be
step
able
in.
to get a lot more contributions than you would just even if you had one business, because you're paying yourself a salary from each individual business.
Mhm.
But the 23,000 would be split over the four, right?
Yeah, both of them would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Okay, cool.
hopefully that helps.
Real quick, so I've been monitoring the chat for pretty much the entire webinar, and right now I just saw that we also have some questions in the Q&A, so I switched over to that one real quick, and one of the questions from about 30 minutes ago
Nope.
was, what company does Amber and Kelsey work for? So ladies, what company do you work for?
Horizon Trust Company.
Of course. This is a Horizon Trust webinar. So we do bring people on, but you guys happen to actually work here.
That's a
Yes,
good point.
that's
We do
true.
webinars with other people. Yeah. Nope, we work here.
Yeah, we work here.
Yeah.
We were just out there working.
Yep. We came into our awesome new podcast room here, and
Absolutely.
yeah, so
Absolutely.
it's right here in the building.
Right. Let's see here. And then promissory note, how does that need to be titled? We answered that. So if it's going through the investment LLC, it's in the name of the LLC.
Correct. Yep.
All right. And then question about 20 minutes ago was, can you speak more about foreign filing in Wyoming LLC? Is this not involving real property like holding retirements? Is it okay not to foreign file? I'm from California.
Again, California is tough. So I would say typically if you're in any state other than California, that you realistically don't have to foreign file a checkbook control. So okay, or like, yeah, just a checkbook control LLC and investment LLC. California,
They'll get you somehow.
they'll get you
find
somehow. They will
somehow.
find you. Like
And you'll get that bill. If you tried to pass on it, like they'll
Yeah.
find you. If your California address is listed anywhere on the paperwork,
That's the thing. When we apply for the EIN number, you have to use your California address because ultimately, like it's still linked to your social security number. You're a California resident. California is going to want you to foreign file, even if you're not buying real property. They're just the worst state. I'm sorry. When it comes to foreign filing, like I love California. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
I love everything about California, but when it comes to, because I just had to deal with it for so long previously, and it's tough because it doesn't matter. Even if I had clients that were living in California, set up a Wyoming company, never did any business in California. We're buying properties in Texas, Florida, all over the East Coast, and California is still required to foreign file. So they're just really strict about it. And like I said at the beginning of this, I'm sorry, like there's just really no way to get around it. I would recommend, or talk to your CPA. Ultimately, it's gonna come down to your CPA. That is not my profession. So talk to your CPA if they are, they're the one doing your taxes, they're going to be the one responsible for it. But my recommendation is to foreign file just to be on the safe side and make sure that you're not doing anything you shouldn't. Again, it's $800. The good news is the fees can come out of your retirement account, so you don't have to pay out of pocket,
Yeah.
So all these fees are considered administration fees, so they all can come out of retirement funds. Any state fees, foreign filing fees, those are all for the benefit of the retirement account. You can use retirement funds. So maybe there's that benefit.
Yeah,
we're looking for the positive of the California situation.
Okay, perfect. So we are getting close to the end here of
Okay.
our webinar. So we do still have our giveaway that we need to do. So let's do the giveaway.
All right.
So
Who's the lucky winner?
for those of you that have been a part of our webinar for at least a couple times, we've been giving away an LLC, and it made sense that we're doing a webinar about LLCs to give you guys a free Horizon mug. It's great. You can keep your coffee warm. It's absolutely amazing. No, we're kidding. We're absolutely going to give you guys a free LLC because we want you guys to utilize these benefits. We just talked about them. How could you not get a free LLC?
Yeah,
So-
I love that.
All right, so Alicia's here helping us out on the side. She's working behind the camera on all the technical stuff. She's doing a little woot woot, so we're gonna woot 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 right now with her. So ladies, go ahead and pick a number between 1 and 300 because that's the registrants that we had up for today's
Okay.
webinar. And then Alicia's gonna find the person for us and let us know who that is.
Okay.
should we do our own individual numbers and add them together?
You
Or
think,
do you
you
want
think I can do math? You guys can rock, paper, scissors to figure out your number.
I picked 109.
109. Okay. Is that going to be the number or are we doing math?
Oh, are we?
No,
Oh,
I picked.
oh yeah, because we have to pick one number. Right?
Alex is gonna kill me.
I picked 4.
All right. So the number is 113. Alicia, can you do me a quick favor and find out who register at 113 is? So I'll give her a quick moment to locate that.
I love it.
All right. That was too much. Anyways, so while we do that, ladies, are you looking forward to the Super Bowl? Sorry, I'm wrapping it up real quick.
Yeah.
I was like, I wanted to give her
You're excited
Yeah,
about the
you
Super
brought this up
Bowl.
multiple times now.
second time, and I'm excited to stay home and away from the strip. I do not want to be anywhere near the strip because it is going to be a madhouse. It has already been a madhouse this week, and like with everyone just arriving. So
Yeah.
it's just
I actually have to go to the airport this weekend.
Yeah, same. I'm flying out, but I feel like I'm going the opposite direction.
But you're still going to the airport.
True.
Yeah.
True. But I'll be leaving on Thursday, so hopefully it won't be as bad.
Don't leave
And
your
coming
car there.
But I'm coming back on Sunday,
Uber.
so I'm nervous
list.
because I'm coming back like right as the Super Bowl is ending.
Oh,
And so I'm wondering what traffic is going to be like. Probably a nightmare.
I also
But
am.
like I feel like the airport, I could just like kind of jump onto the 215 right there. And
Boop, boop. Yeah, just go around.
Everybody else just is gonna. So
I'm not, as long as you can avoid the I-15, I feel like you're solid.
For sure. Okay, so we have our winner. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
All right. So our winner of our LLC
Is it me?
today, it's Amber. No, it's actually going to be Samantha Horton. So congratulations, Samantha.
All right.
Yeah, you got that free LLC. So we're going to notate your account so that way our team can reach out and let you know that you got the LLC. Hopefully you're still on the webinar. If you are, congratulations. If you weren't able to make it, congratulations. Yeah. And then we'll definitely be reaching out to get you set up with that LLC.
Yeah.
So
That's
all right.
exciting. I'm so excited that we're doing that.
yeah,
It's
that's fun.
It's fantastic.
It is.
It's a great
$1,000
opportunity.
That's great value people too. By the way, like the fact that Horizon is doing like giving away free LLCs, I think is huge and it's just really generous. So I'm excited that we're able to offer that.
Yeah. Well, that was very kind of Greg. We've been trying to push him to kind of, provide more value, give more value to our clients because we are very passive. So we can't give any
Tough, yeah.
advice on tell you what investments to do, but we can give you information. We can
Education.
We can
give
educate,
you
yeah.
education.
Resources, like
So our investment corner is always available to clients. If you don't have the password, shoot us an email. We can give you that password because it is a tool exclusively for Horizon Trust clients. And we also have a lot of blogs and resources that our team works to create to provide you with more information. And recently we even started adding ebooks. Did you guys know that we have ebooks now?
No.
Ebooks are available on our website. Yeah.
just kidding.
Anyways,
No, I
So-
love that too. And I know I personally appreciate Greg doing our whole team does, just doing these webinars, doing the little podcast, taking the time out of his day just to provide that education. Because like you said, it's tough. It's tough to like, I want to be able to tell everyone, oh, go do X, Y, Z, but our license doesn't allow it. These are self-directed accounts. We are a passive custodian. So take advantage of the resources that we do provide, the education that we do provide. And if you do have questions, just, we're here to answer those questions. So reach out.
Thanks. I'm sorry. That was great.
Send off, Amber.
Yeah, send off Amber. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. We hope you guys had a great time. Ladies, thank you for joining me today. We'll do this again sometime.
All right.
All right. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. There's lots more great content for you to learn and enjoy and apply to. And so anyways, click on the link below and listen to more videos or set an appointment with us. We look forward to hearing from you and also helping you.